Hey, it's Greg from Streamline and wanted to show you something that's really cool about ProLaw that is not widely known. It's a pretty cool tool. So the tool is ProLaw Custom Buttons. It's kind of like a little Swiss Army knife. You can do a whole bunch of different things with it. Typically what I see clients use them for are clicking the button in ProLaw to launch and run an automated Excel report. So it could be an Excel report that looks at data across all matters or within a date range, or it could be an automated Excel report that displays data that's just for one specific matter, and you want to pass that matter ID automatically to the Excel report and get it to run. Second, sort of related thing that I see people do is they use it to run some sort of external non-ProLaw applications, and then maybe you might want to pass the matter ID or the professional record ID, something like that, to that application and get it to do something. And then third, maybe getting it to open a web page and then passing data to the web page. Could be maybe a patent number or a contact's address, matter ID, something like that. So ProLaw Custom Buttons can be used anywhere where you've got a ProLaw Custom tab, which of course is going to be in Contacts, Matters, or in Professionals. So let's take a quick look at a couple of examples where I've created custom buttons. Okay, so here in Contacts, we're on a contact record, and if I look on the General tab, we've got an address that's in there. And I've got a little custom button here. So if I click the button, what it's designed to do is it's going to pull the address from the General tab and plop it into Google and create a map based on that address. So I'm just going to click the button. The button and Google are now doing everything else, and there we go. So we've got the address that got popped in there from the contact. Pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing is somewhat similar, and what we're going to do is we're going to pass another chunk of data, in this case a patent number, to the US Patent and Trademark Office to pull up that patent filing. So we've got this patent number here, and I've got my custom button there, and I've got it configured to go to the patent office, pass the patent number to it, and open the web page. So I'll click the button, and now it does everything from there. So here's the patent number that was on the matter, and we've got the patent listing there. So really cool, quick automation, really useful for users, saves them a bunch of time. They don't have to copy and paste stuff from ProLaw into a search, whether it's Google or the USPTO or wherever. It can be kind of cumbersome. The other way that I've seen folks use these custom buttons is, like I mentioned, for automated Excel reports. And this is just a super simple Excel report that I designed to get some matter totals on it. Essentially what it does when I click the button is it will pass the matter information, the matter ID in this case, to the Excel report, and then the Excel report automatically runs some SQL code that uses the matter ID, pulls the totals from that matter ID out of the ProLaw SQL database, and then displays them in Excel. So click the button, Excel opens, there's a real quick refresh there, and then I've got the matter totals for this particular matter ID. I can close this, and if I want to run it on a different matter, I can do that as well. So in matters, I can just pull up any matter, go back to the custom tab, and click my little button, and it pulls in the new totals for this different matter. Okay, so real quick, that's how they work. That's a couple of examples of how they're used, and let me show you a couple real quick calculations that you can use, sort of templates that you can use in the custom buttons. So if you just wanted to open up a web page, like a static web page, you could just type in the URL there. So real simple. Another example of that is if you wanted to open up another application, and you would use this to call the application. Generally, I found that it works best if you put the application, the path to that, in single ticks, little space there, and then you add on, basically just concatenate the matter ID. For example, if you wanted to pass the matter ID to that application. And then a little fancier way of calling getting Google to map the address for a contact. The stuff that's in the red here is the URL that works most reliably for creating a map, getting a map pulled up in Google. And then I just tacked on with the plus sign at the end here this long calculation, which is it's sort of like a V11 report calculation, but you can see that I'm just passing the address to it and then replacing the hard return with a plus between each hard return, and same thing with the spaces, just replacing that with a plus. And then that replacing the hard returns in the spaces with pluses just makes it easier for the Google the URL to interpret reliably and then display that address. So a couple quick examples. The Excel example is a little more involved, so I'm not going to share that. There's several steps there. There's a SQL stored procedure. There's some VBA behind the scenes in the Excel workbook that has to be configured, and then there's a little bit different configuration of the custom button calculation. So it's a lot more involved. I'm not going to show that here, but this hopefully should give you an idea of how to start playing around with custom buttons and getting a better understanding of what they can be used for and how you can use them to automate things that you want to do within ProLaw. So if you have any questions, my email is down there at the bottom, greg@streamline-corp.com. Just email me, and if you've got questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.